Hello! Today we are solving the Hanayama Spiral puzzle. It is a level 5 out of a possible 6-star difficulty. It was released in 2003 and it was designed by American designer Kenneth E. Walker. This will be the 6th level 5 puzzle that we have done. We have done the square, we've done the elk, we've done the H&H puzzle, we've done the padlock, and the hardest level 5 that we've done so far is the equa puzzle. Now, in terms of the length of time that those other level 5s have taken us, the square was something like 20 minutes maybe. I might be completely wrong with that. But the equa was like a couple of hours. So the scale varies in terms of time taken on level 5s. So we will see just how long the level 5 spiral puzzle takes us. So this is it, the cast spiral puzzle. I've been very careful in trying to get it out of the box and place it down because it looks like it should just fall apart. I mean, it's, yeah, well, like this, I guess. Sliding each bit up and, whoa. That's strange. So each bit sort of gets to the edge, but not enough to come apart. Wow! That is quite beautiful. That's quite impressive. You can almost make like a staircase, a spiral staircase there. Wow, that feels really good. So I mean, obviously it gets to a point where certain bits have completely separated here, so you can see like the inside there, and it doesn't look to be a trick to any part of it, and we can do that with every bit. Wow. Yeah, and there's nothing special on the inside of any of the pieces, and they all look exactly the same. Both sides look the same as well. I mean, there's sort of like a flat bit on top of each piece, and the bottom, depending on which way around it is. I guess the only piece that looks different is this bit because it's got Hanayama engraved on it. When that bit is completely separated, why can that bit not just slide off? How can it go up to there the whole way but not quite off the end? Alright, now while I'm enjoying sort of moving each bit and it not falling apart, I'm guessing that there is I don't know, like almost like a combination, or each bit has to be in a certain position. So like this bit up, this bit down, this bit up, this bit down a bit more, this bit up. And there's probably a position where the slackness is enough for either one piece or all the pieces to fall apart or to come apart. That bit doesn't want to go above that bit. It can come all the way off it, but it doesn't want to go above it. So there is a difference from side to side, from this side to this side. It can come all the way off there, not very far off there. And I think I've just spotted why. I think that groove gets smaller, so it's quite wide at the top here, but smaller down here. It looks to be the same on all the pieces. But there is, I think, a difference. Like this one seems, the gap down at this end seems wider than the gap here. Or this line here seems much thicker, which is shown where this bit doesn't get quite as far up as that bit. It's only very slight. It doesn't quite get far enough up. See, that bit's much thicker here, so it doesn't go anywhere near as far. So most of these come at least to this halfway mark. So that one comes quite a good distance. That one's a little bit less. That one's a good distance. That one's a little bit less, I think. And that one's a lot less. So this is the tightest piece. I was gonna say, is there a part where we can get like these two bits, or that bit and that bit, far apart from each other, that then that middle bit can sort of somehow slide past? or get to the middle bit, and there'll be enough of a gap between there and there for this piece to just be taken out. Right now it's looking like the answer is no to that question. How about getting the bit apart and then pulling it apart this way and then sliding a piece out? And I hope that's not the answer. What does the box say? At first glance, this puzzle doesn't seem unlockable. The 5 pieces, however, can most certainly be taken apart. Putting them back together, however, is a whole new problem in itself. That's something to look forward to. My suggestion for solving this puzzle would be to not apply too much pressure. Solve it or not, the 5 pieces exude a kind of elegance, spiraling into a comfortable fit in the palm of your hand. That last bit's right. It is, yeah, quite an elegant puzzle. It's really nice how they're not actually connected, but they are connected at the same time. And the amount of movement you get between each bit is amazing, really. But what did it say? My suggestion for solving this puzzle would be to not apply too much pressure. Okay, so that probably takes getting this apart to here, pulling it, and then trying to slide it past. That takes out that as an option. Ooh, we've got more movement there. Almost like a twist movement, so that bit came up. There. Yeah. So you can see there's a lot more movement sort of. Ah, there we go. So we come over the top. Come over the top there. So we've got 3 in steps here. And 2 there. Get those 3 into a step. Those 2 into a step. The lower 2 is the one with the Hanayama. That's interesting to know. There we twist out from there. Ah, there we go. That wasn't too long. What, 12, 13 minutes? Excellent. I'm going to make it a bit easier for me to put back together by sort of remembering where those bits came apart. But there we go. Nice and quick. Level 5 puzzle. Yeah, that was quite an enjoyable puzzle, to be honest. Before we speak too soon, let's make sure we know how to put it back together first. So I think I've done myself a little bit of a favour in identifying which bits were sort of in which position before taking it apart. So I know that those 2 were the 2 that came over the top. These 2 I might have mixed up a little bit, but I'm not sure if that does make a difference. So it was sort of this position, and then these 2, yeah, come over the top there. Yeah, brilliant. That was it. Less than 30 seconds, but that was only because I remembered sort of how it worked in this, as I was taking it apart, which was sort of, if we do it again, it's there and there. Might have a go at seeing, actually, yeah, let's try it. So we were there and there. If we move around one, let's see if it matters, like which bits it is. So if we move on to there, yeah, interesting. So we don't have the movement in that position. So it must have to be these 3. And like we were talking about earlier on, I'm guessing it's based on like which bits are thicker. So like we could tell that there was one piece, I'm not sure which bit it is, or one way around there where the thickness where it wouldn't be, the spiral wasn't allowed to sort of come any further than that. So that one's not it. It's probably going to be like one of the 2 bits that aren't together. So yeah, it must specifically have to be that order and those bits that are the ones that come over the top. But brilliant puzzle. I really like this one. It's been one of the quickest ones, so it's not one of the hardest ones by any stretch of the imagination. But the way it moves and glides together and stays together, unless you get it in that specific order, is brilliant. I really like this one. So what we'll do now, what we usually do is rate it on my own scale of difficulty and compare it essentially to every other Hanayama puzzle that I've done so far. So So there it is. That's one of the quickest, probably the quickest level 5 puzzle we've ever done. If not one of the quickest we've ever done full start, regardless of its level of difficulty. Now, it was fairly obvious early on that it was always going to be a case of being almost like a combination lock. This bit has to be in this position, then this bit has to be here, this bit has to be here, this bit has to be here. I didn't know how, I didn't know that it would be a sort of a twist off, but it was always going to be, yeah, like I said, a combination lock. But instead of numbers on the combination lock, it was positions. It's a really nice puzzle. It's, yeah, like it says on the box, it's sort of elegant and quite beautiful that it sort of doesn't come apart, given how loose each bit appears to be. So I remember looking at the case of this one and thinking, right, well, that top bit must absolutely not match up with that bottom bit. There must be something in the middle, but I was wrong. I was very wrong, but that makes it more beautiful. That makes it sort of more impressive that it doesn't just fall apart when you pick one piece up. But where does it rank? Where does it rank on our difficulty scale? I'm genuinely running out of room. I might have to change the layout, I think, after this one. But we've got the easiest puzzle here, the loop puzzle, and we've got the hardest puzzle here, which is the hourglass puzzle. Now, where does the spiral rank? Now, it's definitely going to be the bottom end, at least the bottom half off the top of my head. So we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up. Now, is the spiral easier than the loop? It took me longer to do the loop, I think, from memory, but this is tougher than the loop. I'd like to think I'm better now at solving puzzles than I was when I solved the loop. So it's harder than the loop. Now, here's where I'm stuck. Here's where I'm not sure. Now, the news puzzle, I figured, again, similar to this one, the news and the spiral are quite similar. I figured out how both of them are going to open quite early on. The news took longer to actually get open. If we skip one and go to the violin, I think the spiral's easier than the violin puzzle. The violin is a level 3 puzzle, but I didn't know how that was going to open until it opened. I think that's the key in sort of deciding its difficulty for the spiral. So I think it's easier than the violin, so it's either going to be the second easiest one we've ever done or the third easiest. The question is the spiral harder than the news? I think we've got a new second easiest puzzle, and surprisingly it's a level 5 puzzle. Now if you look at the overall leaderboard, for lack of a better term, the black boxes are level 5 and level 6 puzzles, the blue boxes are level 4s, the green boxes are level 3s, the silver is a level 1, the cast dot is a level 2, that's a slightly different box. But if you look at the overall thing, the black boxes, the harder ones, as you would expect, take up the majority of spaces in the top half of the puzzles that we've done, and the blues, the greens, the silvers take up the bottom half. But now we've got two anomalies. We did just have the news down there, which is a level 6, should be the hardest possible puzzle. And we've got a level 5 puzzle joining it in the bottom 3, not the bottom 3, the easiest 3, which is strange if you ask me. Those two puzzles are much easier than this level 3, than these two level 4s, than these two level 4s, and all the other level 5s and 6s. So there we go. Now, coming into doing this puzzle, I did not expect that to be the outcome, for us to solve it in 13 minutes, 12 minutes, to put it back together in 30 seconds, and then for it to sit as the second easiest puzzle we've ever done. I did not expect that at all. But there it is. Now, if you disagree with my rating at all, if you think that one of these puzzles up here is harder based on either doing it yourself or watching me solve it, then comment below. Let me know what you think. Now, hopefully you have been entertained in some fashion. If you have and you are not already subscribed, then please consider clicking my face here and subscribing for similar videos in the future. You can click those two videos over there to watch me solve some of these other puzzles and go through the solutions for those puzzles. And I will see you next time. Peace!